What's up, guys? Welcome to Game of TETS. Finally, we have the wrap-up show. We go through and basically talk about the entire competition, as well as some of the things that went wrong, a couple speed bumps, and of course, announce the winner, who not only doesn't know that it's him, he doesn't even think that it's him. There's no way this guy thinks that he won this tournament, and he has good reason to, but we'll get there in a moment. First, let's talk about creating this entire tournament from the beginning. Now, as you can see, we use secondary and tertiary tracks to bring people in and to watch them instead of using a replay system, because the only way we get replays is by releasing the tracks. And unfortunately, because people have the opportunity to run these things over and over again, well, we couldn't really just release it. We wouldn't have a good way of seeing how people would attempt this thing on their first try. So the idea was to make it a supercross track, invite people in, and basically just keep restarting until that person gets on the actual trial track, and then they race, and that's it. Simple. Now, all these tracks were created by Squishy, who's pretty good at trials. Now, I also consider myself to be pretty good at trials. We had some people from Red Links try the tracks themselves, and we agreed upon a time of 2 minutes. All right, I think it was 2 minutes flat per track. They only get one attempt, and that's it. They run through, got 2 minutes, and if they don't make it to the end, we record the time that they made it to the furthest obstacle, just in case it, comes down to being that close in the top 3. Now, we made it very clear in the forums that this was not a full-on Ninja Extreme style experience, and we kind of got shit on for it. Now, if you think about it, these guys are really good at trials, and we respect that. We know that they are. I bring it up every other episode of TETS. But the feedback we were getting was that if it's not a ninja track, then we're wasting our time and basically theirs. And so we were kind of like, well, wait a minute, should we make it more difficult? No, we shouldn't. We have it good right now. We're good where we're at. Let's just get them in there and race. And if they make it to the 4th track and they complete it with no problem, that's great. They get all 4 tracks complete. We're gonna have a nice close race, and then we'll be fine. Let's take a look at some of the results, shall we? This one is Mertanian. This gentleman here, unfortunately, was in last place, which is, it sucks, but someone's gotta be last. Just happens to be this guy. We're on the first track right now. As you can see, first obstacle is very, very easy. Second one catches pretty much everybody off guard the first time because they don't realize that they have to push forward in order to make it over this ramp. It doesn't look like, you don't see the massive stack of tires until you get to the top. We can take one more attempt here. And this one will get him over just barely. Just his butt just kind of scrapes the top, but he's fine. This one right here, you have to just kind of work your way over the tires by just kind of skimming the top will usually do it. So we have to be going fast enough. Keep the back wheel down, just kind of bounce over it just like that. Or you can just land it like this. That works perfectly fine as well. Now, unfortunately, this obstacle is the last obstacle that he reached. He reached this one in a time of 41.5 seconds, so that's the time we write down. Just in case if nobody else can make it to this particular obstacle in time, then, he will still be in the lead. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him. He didn't get past his obstacle, which sucks. Some of these guys are under a lot of pressure, You got 2 people sitting there in the background watching you, and, sometimes it's a little too much. But it wasn't too much for Lord Melchet, at least not at the beginning. As you can see, this is his first attempt at this obstacle here, up over the tires. Skims the top of these things just fine. Perfect. Well, not absolutely perfect, but all that matters is that he crossed the checkpoint. And here he is, ramp, box, ramp, box, ramp. This obstacle, which proved too much for Mertanian, unfortunately. This one is no problem at all for Lord Melchet. Record time, by the way, getting all the way over here. He's actually one of the fastest to get to this obstacle. Unfortunately, this obstacle was his undoing. As you can see, you have to give it a little bit of a hop on each one. A little hop right there. That'll get you over to the next one. And you do it again, and then you reach your checkpoint. But like I said, he used up all of his juice in the first 30 seconds of this race, and he could not get past this obstacle to save his life. Wrapping up those that did not complete the first track, we have PR Custom, Gunners, Scousland, and Lost in Vermont. Now, I think PR Custom's deal was that he wasn't on a donkey. This is the guy that topped that donkey track I put out a couple weeks ago. But unfortunately, he's still in the very small and elite group of people who did not finish the first track. Now, how about the 2 best times in the first track? Remember, all they have to do is complete the first track. Doesn't really matter if they have the best time or anything, but let's go and take a look at them anyways. We have, on the left side, Kawaka, and on the right side, Tukur. Right away, you can see that neither one of them had any issues with the first obstacle. The second one, however, gives Kawaka a little bit of guff. He's gonna go back and try that again, while we have Tukur, who just flies over the second one. Spectator got to reset, come back and join the fight here. But Tukur has a commanding entire obstacle lead over Kawaka, but Kawaka catches up fairly quickly. The ramp, box, ramp, box, ramp obstacle is proven to be a pretty difficult one for most players. And here, of course, we see these guys beating it up a little bit. Looks like Tukur got the furthest. You can see he's actually talking on the mic. We have him muted here, and a lot of times we're actually able to hear him on our headsets, we were able to hear people, some of them cursing, some of them were eating while they were playing. A lot of interesting, I wish I would have recorded that separately because I think some of the dialogue was probably worth hearing. A little insight to what people talk or think or eat while they do these competitions. We see that Kawaka is now an obstacle ahead of Tucker, but Tucker can still catch up because Kawaka just wrecked and Tucker now is in the same place he is. So right here, they're both in the exact same spot. And they both make it over at the exact same time almost, but Kawaka pulls ahead and with just a smidge of a lead. 1 second and he took gold. He won nothing because being #1 at the first track actually didn't mean shit. Now let's skip right to the top 4 on track 2. All right, from top to bottom, left to right, we have Kawaka, Donreen, Retribution, and Murdoch Lock, with the bottom 2 being in the top 100 of the global Trials Evolution leaderboards. So it's no surprise that these guys are here. Now this obstacle coming up right here is done by simply flipping the bike over, hooking it with the back tire, and then gassing your way all the way up and doing a flip. But just because we built it that way doesn't mean you have to do it that way. But before we get there, go ahead and check out Murdoch Lock as he gracefully descends down to the bottom platform in a way that nobody has done. We are both quite impressed by this. But now turn your eyes back to Kawaka, upper left corner there. He's got that front tire hooked and he swings the rear all the way around. Once again, a first and only for this competition, the way that he took on that particular obstacle. He's probably watched this video and he's like, oh, front flip, huh? Now you just saw Murdoch Lock try to leap over that wall, which is totally fine if you can build up that kind of speed, but I don't believe anybody, maybe one person figured out how to do it. Ah, there it is right there. It was Mr. Donreen. Unfortunately though, after he makes it over, he's not able to complete the spire here, and he has to go back and try it again. But obviously none of that was an issue for bottom left corner, Retribution. These ramps right here are very, very difficult to pass. Matter of fact, a lot of people were stuck on this until time ran out. Here we have Retribution and Murdoch Lock are there. Obviously, we expect these guys top 100 to be in the lead, but with just over 30 seconds on the clock, they have to make it over this and the next one in order to finish the race and move on to the next course. Now, while they're sitting there trying to work out these ramps, we have Kawaka and Donreen at the top, unfortunately having a difficult time getting over the tire spire, but right here, both of them actually come sailing over it, and now they're up there with Murdoch Lock and Retribution. So the game is pretty much tied at this point. There's only one more obstacle after this one. All you have to do is make it over these 3 ramps. We have Kawaka on the last ramp, but he's not alone. Donreen and Retribution are with him as well, but he does go over, and right behind him is Donreen. Retribution is, unfortunately, gonna try it again. Murdoch Lock gotta try it again. The last obstacle here with Kawaka, just a slight lead over Donreen. Unfortunately, though, time runs out, and that's it. The rules clearly state that you cannot exceed 2 minutes on a single track, and unfortunately, not a single person made it past the second track. And for a second there, we were gonna go back and make them harder. Why? Because of the feedback we were getting. But we didn't. We stuck to our guns. We kept them where they were because we felt that it was right. Now, are you a little disappointed? Because I am. This is the reason why this thing didn't come out for so long, because I'm sitting here just like waiting for somebody to complete it. Not one person. 25 people tried it. Not one was able to complete it on the first go, which again, this is the rules of the race. Now, is this gonna change the way we do these things in the future? Probably, as in, yes. But hindsight is 2020. Kawaka still won. He's still gonna get his prize. But I'm a little disappointed, honestly. I'm a little disappointed that it did not go as we planned. We thought that we had it perfect. We thought that the rules, we had a huge sheet drawn up. Everything was perfect. But the players were not as good as they kind of, you know, made themselves seem. I'm not trying to discredit them in any way. They're good players. They just need to hit up a track more than once, unfortunately, to get those awesome times that you see on the leaderboards, which is what the game's about. So I want to go and extend my deepest, sincerest apologies to everybody who was looking forward to an awesome event. I was looking forward to it too, but next time we do this, we're gonna make sure we do it right. Like I said, we've learned a lot from this. We have lots of notes of things that went wrong and things that we're gonna fix for next time to bring you guys a multi-tiered event, something that's gonna last a little bit longer. Now, if you wanna try these tracks, they're gonna be available, all 4 of them. So all the ones that you didn't even get to see used in this competition are gonna be available later today, courtesy of Squishy. Thank you very much, Squishy, for doing all that work and building all those tracks. It just sucks we didn't get to everybody to get on there and actually race them. But now's your chance to see how you compare to some of the people who made it in the top 25 for the TETS competition. Thank you very much, guys. Stay tuned for some PC Trials related stuff coming very, very soon. You guys know that open beta starts on Thursday of this week. Obviously, you can look forward to content from that, as well as some Trials Basics videos. All that coming up soon right here on youtube.com/AKMikeB. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.